Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the new Telos Legend. This board features Telos's dual camber with center micro rocker. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So what you've got going on with this board is a little bit of rocker in the tip and the tail. Then the camber section comes up. It dips on the inside of the insert pack and flattens back out. So it's not quite like a C3 camber profile, and it is an elevated camber profile, but it has this dip that just gives it a little bit more play. It still snaps like traditional camber, like something that's well broken in that you've ridden 100+ days. This board is available in 146, 150, 154, and 158. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that started out sunny and nice, and then it became a little bit overcast. It had colder temps, perfect corduroy, lumpy chunder and chop, a little leftover pow, some ice for good measure, and while we're at it, some dirt patches. And I rode it with my K2 Thraxis boots and my Rome Black Label bindings. This board has a really unique flex pattern to it. It feels stiffer than it actually is when you're charging. So what's going on with this board is you got the rocker in the tip and the tail, and you'll get a little bit of flap in there. But where that micro rocker in the middle comes down inside the insert pack, creates two flex points inside the bindings that are easier to just leverage and butter and play around with, but then it's slightly stiffer underfoot and out towards the tips. I mean, yes, you've got that rocker, so it's already elevated in that, but so it gives you key flex points inside the feet as well as where that rocker is. So you've got like two areas where you can push into depending on how you're playing with this board to just get it to engage. Now, the torsional flex is abundant. You can really torsionally twist this board. When it comes to stability, the center from inside, those flex points, super smooth and stable, little chattery out in the tips, but nothing that's so bad that you got to worry about it washing out on you. In fact, if anything, that rocker in the tips helps you just climb up uneven terrain and just charge right on through. This board will actually plow through a lot of chop with ease. I mean, super frozen death ruts, yeah, you're probably gonna die, but just hammering on this board going fast and uneven terrain, it doesn't want to wash out, it just wants to keep going. The nice thing about the snap on this board is that it's there. You never feel like you actually have to engage that camber section to get the board to react and pop you up. You just roll along, roll back on the tail, it snaps and you're in the air. It's not the snappiest board out there, but it's consistent. It has that feel of something that you've ridden 100+ days. You know how it's gonna react. You never have to worry about it. And then when you're hitting the lip of a jump and you're popping off stuff, that boost is there if you need it, or you can be laid back and just let the lip throw you. It's one of those boards that if you want to be demanding, you can be demanding. But if you want to be lazy and laid back, it's going to be just fine. Now, would I go hit monster booters of doom with this thing? No, but I think like your 20 to 30 foot jumps, it'll have that stability you're looking for in that snap. Anything bigger, you better know what you're doing. Bring your A game. So here's the crazy thing about this board. I've talked about the flex pattern in it, and it butters and jibs exceptionally well. You got that rocker out in the nose and the tail, so you can really leverage your weight out there and engage it. It's gonna swizzle and sizzle. But that flex point inside the feet really lets you bend your knees and manipulate the board how you want to, and it stays locked in. It still gives you pop, but it never fights you when you want to spring out of a butter. And when you're hitting a rail or a box or whatever, this board's at home on it. It locks into those presses, it holds them well, it snaps out the end, and when you get sideways, it's got enough flex that it cradles around the feature, it doesn't clap out. It feels fully at home just hitting rails. When it comes to carving, this is where this board excels. Now, surprisingly for a all-mountain twin freestyle board, this board can actually turn. If you want to throw all your weight into the tail, really lay it over, dig a trench, you can. But if you want to be laid back and just cruise from edge to edge, you can. When you want to be assertive, it lets you be assertive. And when you want to be laid back, you can be laid back. It locks in and you just feel it on edge, cutting through all the crap in front of you, just killing corduroy. You never have to worry about it. This board is so smooth with how it engages and disengages a turn. It's an absolute blast to ride. Who's this board for? The park-focused all-mountain rider. This is the most unique board I've ridden from Telos to date. And I love getting on their stuff. There's just a consistent ride with their side cuts. You just know that you're gonna get something good. And this board doesn't disappoint. For being a mid-wide park-focused twin, it slays outside the park. It rails turns when you need to, but you can be laid back. It's got a consistent pop to it. Not the snappiest, but it's consistent. You know what you're gonna actually get out of this board. It butters and plays well, and you do have that unique flex pattern with it being softer right inside the inserts. You can just feel that being manipulated and putting your weight into presses and whatnot with it. Overall, it's just such a unique ride, and it really stands out as being something different and having a lot of versatility behind it. Comparable boards: the Arbor Westmark, the Rome Agent, the Ride Zero. Binding recommendations: the Rome Katana, the Bent Metal Transfer, the Now Select Pro. This has been my review of the Telos Legend. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you gonna buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you wanna support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.